So here we go. The latest on the shutdown. Now, look, I want to, you know how sometimes you're watching the news and they say, we want to advise you that the video you're about to see, contains some chilling scenes. You may want to look away or something like this. So I want to warn you ahead of time that what I'm about to say will probably piss you off and will probably upset you, and that it's what I'm going to say nobody else will say, okay? But I want to say it anyway. I think it's a big mistake to pay the death benefits to the families of members of the military who were killed in Afghanistan and whose bodies are being brought back to Dover Air Force Base and were not going to get their benefits because of the government shutdown. You know the story. It's about $10,000 per family, which is always given to those who have been killed in action. Our brave men and women over there put their lives on the line, lost their lives, come home. Families, many of them can't afford to give them a decent farewell, and the government always takes care of that. Now, that whole program was shut down as part of the government shutdown. But here's the deal. The Pentagon had been warned had warned Congress. Congress had been warned ahead of time that this program would be shut down, had to be shut down as part of what Congress passed. Republicans didn't listen. Republicans did it anyway. And then once they realized what they had done, they started blaming it, raising hell about it, blaming it on President Obama, and saying again, we had to make an exception for that, just like we had to make an exception for air traffic controllers. We had to make an exception for the World War II memorial. Now they had to make an exception, and they did. Every member of Congress, Republican and Democrat, voted to make an exception for these military families, and so they could get their death benefits. And Jay Carney said yesterday, President Obama himself, when he heard about this, was really pissed off, and he just told his people to fix it.
The president was very disturbed to learn of this problem, and he directed the Department of Defense to work with the Office of Management and Budget and his lawyers to develop a possible solution.
And Jay Carney told us yesterday at our briefing that there would be a fix as of yesterday. And in fact, there was as of yesterday. And the fix occurred because of the help of this great foundation, Peter.
Fisher House.
The Fisher House. I visited the Fisher House here in Bethesda. They do incredible work at all of our, not all of them yet, but many, many, many of our veterans hospitals around the world. They have these, they build, create, establish these homes, beautiful homes nearby, where members of military families can live as long as they want, get their meals there and everything, while their loved ones are undergoing treatment and coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan in these military hospitals. So the Fisher House stepped up to the plate. They are going to pay these benefits until the government reopens, and then the Pentagon will reimburse the Fisher House once it has the funds to do so. So the whole thing is fixed. The whole thing is fixed without an act of Congress. But I keep coming back to, here is another example of what I've been talking about. The government does some great things, okay? This is one of the great things the government does. When you shut down the government, right, a lot of great things are not going to get done. And why should we make an exception for those that just happen to pop up, and get a lot of media attention? So we fixed that problem. The New Yorker magazine, this is the latest edition I have here. Let me give you some other examples. The Center for Disease Control told Congress it's going to have to stop its seasonal flu prevention program. Hey, they're not reopening that. Why not? Isn't that important? Think of all those millions of Americans more susceptible now to the flu right now. The WIC program provides healthy food supplements for millions of pregnant women, new mothers, and babies. Hey, we're not doing anything about that. No, we're giving these families their death benefit, not doing anything about those pregnant mothers and babies, right? The Occupational Health Safety and Health Administration stopping most of its inspections of the workplace. Think of all those possible safety violations. The Food and Drug Administration not going to be able to support its food safety or nutrition activities. National Institutes of Health canceling new patients for new cancer clinical trials. There's a lot of important stuff that's not going on. So if something pops up, no matter how good it is, we make an exception for it. You know what? Then it's easier for the shutdown to continue and continue and continue and continue.